What if everything you were taught about money was a lie? Right now, sitting in your bank account is a number. You think that number represents real money, physical cash stored somewhere in a vault with your name on it. But here is the truth that banks and governments have never wanted you to understand. That number is not money. It is a promise. And promises can disappear overnight. Let me tell you the story of how modern money actually works and why it changes everything. It begins in the 1600s in London. Goldsmiths, the bankers of their time, would store people's gold for safekeeping. In return, they gave out paper receipts. People began trading those receipts instead of the heavy gold itself. The receipts became money. Then the goldsmiths noticed something. People almost never came to collect all their gold at the same time. So the goldsmiths started doing something secret, something that would change civilization forever. They began issuing more receipts than they had gold. For every 1 coin of gold in the vault, they issued 10 receipts. They were creating money from nothing. This is called fractional reserve banking. And it is still exactly how your bank works today. Here is how it works right now. You deposit $1,000 into your bank. The bank is only required to keep 10%, $100, in reserve. The other $900? The bank loans it out to someone else. That person deposits it in their bank. Their bank keeps 10% and loans out $810. And so on, and so on. $1,000 becomes $10,000, created out of thin air. But here is where it gets darker. Every single one of those loans charges interest. So the bank didn't just create money, it created money that you must pay back with more money that doesn't exist yet. The system mathematically guarantees that there will always be more debt than money in existence. Now let's talk about who controls this entire machine. In 1913, a group of the most powerful bankers in America met secretly on Jekyll Island, off the coast of Georgia. They drafted a plan that would give private banks control over the entire nation's money supply. That plan became the Federal Reserve Act. The Federal Reserve is not a government agency. It is a private institution, owned by private banks, that has the power to create money, set interest rates, and determine the financial fate of every American. And in 1971, the last link between money and reality was cut. President Nixon announced that the US dollar would no longer be backed by gold. From that moment forward, money became backed by nothing but trust, and the willingness of governments to keep printing more of it. This is why prices always go up. This is why your savings lose value every year. Inflation is not an accident. It is the predictable result of a system designed to create money endlessly. And here is the most uncomfortable truth of all. In a system built on debt, someone must always be in debt. The math is inescapable. If all debts were paid off tomorrow, there would be no money left in existence. Poverty is not a failure of the system. Poverty is a feature of the system. So what can you do? The people who understand this system, the wealthy, the informed, they don't keep their wealth in cash. They own assets, real estate, businesses, commodities, things that hold value when paper money loses it. The knowledge you just received is knowledge that most people will never have. Share this video, because the first step to breaking free from a system is understanding how it works.